Can England win the Euros? There's been so much talk over the last couple of weeks about Southgate, about England, about our chances of winning the Euros. It's a very stacked squad, probably one of the best since I can probably remember, especially since 2004. But the question is, can England win the Euros? Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sani-That Sports Guy talking all things sport. And of course, today we're speaking football. It's international break. We need to speak about England. There's a couple big games that England have against Brazil and Belgium, respectively, which I'll be at. But we need to find out, can England win the Euros? What's the best team to do that? And is Southgate a fraud? Joining me today is two very esteemed guests, or should I say friends, Manraj and Mr Singh. We have a lot to say about this topic. I want to go straight into it, guys. Can England win the Euros, Manraj?
100% yes, they can. There's only one thing they've got to worry about, which is France. France is so stacked across all levels. I think they're the ones where, for me, I think they're better player for player if we to compare them. That's the only challenge. But who knows? Meet him in a final in a one-off game. Why can't you beat them?
We will see what happens in the Euros, that is. Obviously, depends on the seedings, the groupings, etc. But Mr Singh, can England win the Euros? And do they win the Euros?
They can win the Euros. For me, the defence isn't that good.
Let's talk about the defence. What's your issue with the defence?
Well, I think
Is it the fullbacks? Is it the centre-backs?
if you compare it like for like with other teams in Europe, is a quality there to kind of defend attacks in a knockout game of the position. And also, you got to think about the fact that this England team potentially is it's the first time they actually got proper pressure on them. Because in the last tournaments, 2018, no pressure. The Euros, a bit of pressure. Last World Cup, nobody thought they'd get anywhere far. This is the first tournament where people are saying, why can't you win it? And it's a long time since England were talked about in that way. And we know what England teams, historically with pressure, they crumble. You know, we're talking about Southgate. His lack of nous in those situations is a problem because he hasn't got that nous when it crunch comes to it and you can make the right decision. I think if he hasn't got that, I don't think you confidently say they would win it.
I think there's a couple of things you can allude to here. Is probably the use of players, which is a big one. I think Kobe Mino is an incredible inclusion.
I was going to ask you about him. So Kobe Mino, do you think he's a mainstay now for England?
I think he should definitely be given a chance. I think what you see of him at United at that tender age, doing what he's doing, you know, passing, dribbling from deep, it's a big profile in the England side we've lacked, especially against the big sides. A guy who's cool, calm, under pressure, can take the ball off Declan Rice, one of the centre-backs, and nip play, you know, connect our play from Rice to Bellingham. And I think he can be that guy, but you've also got Curtis Jones, who probably would have been in that squad, who would have been in that role as well. But it's, again, I think, an issue probably with the fullbacks. Luke Shaw's done brilliantly for England, but is he going to be fit? Does he try Joe Gomez there and invert him like Klopp's done with success at Liverpool, and then get Trent Alexander-Arnold at the right back? Or can we hope for a fully fit Reece James, who for me is probably the best out of the lot because of the balance he brings between defence and attack?
Even over a Kyle Walker.
To be honest,
you know Southgate likes Kyle Walker.
He does, but I think you look at Kyle Walker, and has been speaking to a couple of City fans recently. I think his form over the last couple of weeks, I think it's really dipped. I don't think he's nowhere near his levels. I think offensively, I don't think he's ever been that great. And I think he relies a lot on his pace and almost kind of too much. And especially in recent weeks when City have conceded goals, I think it's the way that you can speed him up. He can't slow himself down, and we saw that with the goal that Copenhagen scored in the Champions League, and that's a little bit of a worry for me on what he does in the fullback areas, because it's a big part, especially if you've got Mbappe, Kingsley Coman, and Dembele running at you.
Of course, that's a midfield, but the attack is a question really that's been interesting. We probably know Harry Kane starts, Mr Singh, but who plays on the flanks for England?
Because Saka's definitely going to be alongside him.
Yeah.
Rashford,
Bowen on the left, Grealish, Foden maybe.
Well, the fact that Rashford is talked about is a joke, man. On what merit is Rashford in the squad? Like, if you got an ability to get Bowen in the team, Bowen should be in the team, because what he brings is a versatile player. He can be a centre forward if we need to go or forward, or he can be a winger. He can be a forward. You know, the confidence he's got. He's scoring goals all the time. You know, I think he brings a lot of dimensions to a team. And obviously, I would say as a West Ham supporter, I think he brings a lot more to the table, really. And he's got the momentum behind him of the good season he's had.
For me, I think it's simple. Rashford's probably the one who, in behind, gives you that dynamic threat. And the goal that England scored against Italy in the Euros was brilliant, because England are probably one of the few teams in the world who can attack with devastating transition. And Rashford's the biggest part of that, where he is going to burn a fullback. Can Saka do that like a Rashford? Probably not. I think Bellingham and Rashford are key component if you want to counter-attack sides, which Southgate likes to do.
So you mentioned Southgate. Is Southgate the right man for England, win or lose this Euros?
Not for me, no. Not for me, in one answer.
And what about you, Mr Singh? Do you think Southgate is the man, yes or no, for England?
I think he has to leave if whatever happens at this tournament.
And one final question before we do end it. I want to hear your starting 11 that will win England the Euros.
In goal, I'll probably go with Pickford. Right back, I'd probably start a fully fit Reece James. Centre backs, Maguire, Stones. Shaw at left back. I'll probably have Mino, Bellingham and Rice. And then in my front three, Saka, Kane and Rashford for that explosiveness. I feel ashamed to leave Foden and Trent out, to be honest, but it has to be done.
It has to be done. And listen, guys, that's our thoughts on England winning the Euros, Southgate, and of course the XI that does win the Euros. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on the whole matter about Southgate and, of course, the starting 11 that does win the Euros. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to smash a like, comment your thoughts on Southgate and the starting 11. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, until next time, peace.